Hey everybody, have to admit it was not a very restful night last night, and that's because the weather was pretty bad. Temperature got down to 9 degrees, which we're used to 9 degrees, but there were also 35-mile-per-hour winds, and those winds can cool down a greenhouse or any building very, very quickly. So we were a little nervous, especially because I got an alert on my phone that one of the greenhouse thermometers had dropped below, like down to 36 degrees. That had me in a panic because I thought we cannot let these plants get that cold. They could handle maybe 40s-ish right now, but they're used to being in a nice warm greenhouse. They're not made for this, and lower temperatures could definitely stunt them, and if it got too cold, it could kill them. So we don't want any of that. Furnaces are going. Hope you don't mind a little bit of noise in the background. Fortunately, I got here and I just put the thing right next to a window that was getting blown by the wind, so that just tells you how much cold air gets in with that wind. Everything was just fine. Came in here, all the plants are looking great. We've been planting up like crazy. Let me turn this around, I'll show you kind of what we're doing. So things are pretty messy in here, please don't mind it. There's my dad, he's watering right now, just getting all these plugs, making sure they don't dry out. This is all of our soil, so we'll be going through all of this pretty quickly. And then over here, we do have just my uncle and my sister planting today. So they've got some hanging baskets ready to be filled, but then the rest of it is all these annuals that are getting this soil put into these proven winter containers, and then as they finish them up, they rack them up and we put them in the greenhouse and let them grow on. Now that you know the plants are under control, I'm going to go and sort tags. What people don't usually realize is that for every plant that we get, we have to have a tag with it. And that's usually an agreement that we have with the plant companies that allows us to have some of these specialty varieties that have been specially bred for super flower power and all that kind of stuff. But it ends up being a bit of a job. Some of the companies send them to us before the plants arrive. So that's what these are. These are all from Ball. But then other companies like Proven Winners will send them with the plants. So it can be, you know, a bit of a job getting these all organized because when we're planting, we need to be able to get to those tags right away. So right now I'm just sorting them by different varieties. And so that way at least I know where the geraniums are, the petunias are, the coleus are. So that's what I'm going to do right now. It's going to be a bit of a job. Let me give you a closer look at how I organize these. So this tray right here are all non-flowering plants. So I have the grasses, sweet potato vine, ivies, a bunch of different plants like that. Over here, this is kind of a mixed bag of plants that I know we're getting more of. So these will be kind of on an expanded list or a pile later, but they're good right now. This is all begonias. These here are all the different types of geraniums that we're going to be carrying. And so we have tags for each of those. Over here are the start of the petunias. We have a lot more petunias coming. More tags for those. Calibrachoas, same story. Here I have mostly Coleus here. This is kind of a mixed bag, lobelia and the Angelonia, Lophos, bunch of other plants in there. This is another mixed bag that we're going to be getting more of. So we'll have more of the lantana, more of the osteos coming, more fuchsia. And these here are mixed containers for hanging baskets that we have. So we get the tags of those mixes already in there. Proven winter tags are already with their plants, so we don't have those. And this is my irks me a lot pile because these are all plants that have been canceled, yet they still send us the tags. Very frustrating, but we'll figure out. We just kind of put them to the side and maybe we can use them next year. I think I've earned myself a Pączki break. Now, for those of you who don't know, Pączki is basically a Polish donut. And here in Posen, Michigan, we have a very strong Polish history and ties to our Polish heritage. And so we used to have Pączki every Fat Tuesday. That Tuesday's coming up. For many of you, you'd also call it Mardi Gras. It's the day before Ash Wednesday. And our church, or group at our church, still continue that tradition by making pączki. It's something that they used to do even when I was a kid, when my sister and I would volunteer. I think my brother might have done it also when he got a little older, but I think I was kind of out of the house by that point. However, we would be over there, and they were very specific jobs if you're making pączki. So early in the morning, the first group of women would be the mixers. So they'd mix the ingredients and rollers and cutters. They would do all that kind of thing and have everything out in these basically cookie sheet pans. And then the next group coming in would be the fryers. And then they would give like younger people, like high school or maybe junior high students, jobs like, you know, refilling the trays with paper towels. And then you'd be elevated to a job like runner, where you'd be running the pączki from the fryer to the area where they would cool down. And then as you moved up, kind of the highest level for maybe a teenager would have been a froster. And I made it to froster level, I will tell you, and I was pretty darn good at it. And I was trained by some of the best. And let me tell you, when you have an old Polish lady teaching you how to frost, you learn the right way. We had our knife, and we were to, in one scoop, get just the right amount of frosting, and you put it on, and you only use the tip of the knife. And if you didn't use the tip of the knife, you'd be yelled at. It'd be like, use only the tip of the knife, only the tip of the knife, because if you used more than that, you'd be putting too much frosting on, and they did not want these to be over frosted. It was very, very important. So that group is still out there. My mom still helps fry, so she's still a part of it. So it's still a family endeavor, and there's a lot of families that come out and volunteer for this, and they are absolutely delicious. And don't fall for those imitation pączki where they just take a donut and put it in a pączki box and say, oh yeah, these are definitely pączki. And if they have those fancy fillings, like, you know, jelly filled and all that kind of stuff, not a pączki. At least not a Posen Pączki, at least not the ones that I grew up with. These have a very distinct texture and flavor, and they're like this exact size and fried to perfection. And I don't know, they're just, I have great memories of these, and they are very tasty. So I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Even has the hole in the middle. That's important. This year I had set a goal for myself to start petunias from seed, and today I want to get one step closer. I have 4 different varieties of petunia seeds that I want to get planted, and it's been a while since I've done seeds, so I've kind of got to get myself back in that mindset. This time I'm going to be using these seed trays. These are just left over from some of the plugs that we had gotten in. Last year I'd done a lot with the soil blocking. I really like the soil blocking, but there's one little problem that I have. It's that I'm not diligent enough at this time of year, because we have a lot of plants that we're moving around and planting and growing and stuff. And so I'm not real great about keeping an eye on watering. I mean, I'm good about checking them every day, but I found that with the soil blocks, I was overwatering them, and then I'd underwater them. And I guess I feel like I might have a little more control on this. This is kind of the way that I've done them before, so I feel a little bit more confident about that. So that's what I'm going to do. This first variety that I'm going to plant up is called Opera Supreme Raspberry Ice, and this is one of the varieties that you guys had recommended, the Opera series, as one that you guys really liked. And these looks like they're pelleted seeds, so they come in this little capsule here, and there should be 10 seeds in there. And I always want to have something close by just in case I lose track of them. I should have my little bit of water. Okay, so I can see the seeds. They are tiny little pelleted seeds. I'm going to do it the lick method because I didn't grab any water. But what I want to do first probably is just give myself a little hole. I should probably read the instructions on these, shouldn't I? Let's see what these say. Okay, it says do not cover, so we want to have light on those so that they can, it'll be better for germination. So I'm just going to set these right on top. Boy, when they're pelleted, this makes it so easy. I'm just going to set them on there. So I'm just using a regular seed mix, seed starting mix. It's like the Miracle Grow one. It's something I have left over from last year. Uh-oh, did I lose it? All the varieties that I chose based on your suggestions in the comments. So thank you guys for that. And then what else do I need to tell you? Shoot, I'm losing my, there we go. Sorry, I'm going to concentrate here, and then maybe I'll get back to talking to you in a little bit. Or maybe I'll talk over this afterwards. Maybe that'll be easier. So let me get these in. Okay, so that's one down. Okay, next one I'm gonna do, gotta make sure that I mark these here, and then I better make another one for this other row. And I think I'm gonna put a little tiny arrow saying everything, you know, going this way is also the Opera. I'm just gonna write Opera on this one. The other one I have the full name. So now I will remember kind of how I did that. Okay, So now I'm gonna go to town on these. This one is the Superbissima mix. So this is gonna be a mixed Petunia. This one's also pelleted. I don't think all of them are pelleted. This one is, this one's not. So we'll see how the non-pelleted ones, so I'll come back to you on those. Okay, this one is the Tickled pink, and this one, I don't think they're pelleted, so let's take a look at what I got going on here. Oh, they're in a bag. Oh yeah, they're tiny, tiny. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. I'm really bad about working with tiny seeds. It just, my brain and my fingers, I got fat fingers, you know, got a brain that gets distracted easily, and so it's always a bit of an adventure. Okay, let's see. Okay, oh boy, how am I gonna get these out? Do you guys have any tips for getting these out of the envelopes? Because, wow, these are super small. I think I'm gonna try to open this up and then put my pencil in there maybe? I don't know. I shouldn't be licking this and touching the dirt, but I am. Okay, so there looks like there's one there. Or maybe not. Boy, how am I gonna do this? Ooh, they fell right out. Oh boy, I think I'm gonna lose some seeds here. So there's one. I don't know if I got one on there or not. Wow. Let's try it in here. Oh boy. I have no idea if I'm getting these. Boy, this makes me realize I definitely want to get pelleted seeds in the future because that makes all the difference. I have no idea if I got those in there. Oh, there's one. Wow. Okay, I need to watch some other people's videos on how they do these super tiny seeds. Let's just see. Maybe I'll get lucky on that. Okay, so we have to remember the Tickled pink. Is that what it is? Yeah, the Tickled pink one. If I know for sure I got some in these, but I don't know what's happening down here, so oh, that's a little bit depressing. Now I do have some other seeds that I'm going to try to. Is that a seed there? It's like they're, oh, I see. They're kind of stuck behind. Oh boy. So let's, oh, there, they just came loose. Oh boy. Ah. Okay, good luck, seeds. Okay, so I do have a couple other seeds that I do want to get planted up. So one of them is the peekaboo eyeball plant. That's, what is it also called? Splanthus oleracea. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced or not, but we'll give that one a try as well. These came from Swallowtail seeds. These are slightly bigger, but not too much bigger. I'm not cut out for small seeds. Let me tell you, I love my little marigolds and my nasturtiums and my zinnias. They're all like nice, huge seeds that are super easy to get planted up. I do need to do a little research on how people actually do these tiny seeds because I know there's better techniques than what I'm using. But I'm looking forward to this eyeball plant because it is quite unusual looking, and I did see someone had sent in a picture of theirs with the video that I had done on your containers, and it was really nice to see that. Oh yeah, these aren't too bad. They're kind of fluffy like. Okay, let's see what I can do here. These are going to be a lot easier. Okay. And notice I got to try to remember to keep my finger in where I'm placing them because otherwise I lose track of where I'm at. Oh, big twig in there. Oh, you know what? I should also read the instructions. I don't think there were instructions on this. Okay, I'm just putting them on. We'll see, and then I'll look it up. If I need to sync them, I'll sync them after. I better go back and watch the video to see where I left off. That is just like me. And my seed order from Nicole at Flower Hill Farm just arrived, and I don't even remember what I had ordered. So let's take a look at what these are. Maybe there's something I can stick in here as well. So, okay, that's everything there. And, okay, that's the packing slip. Oh, look at, just got these nice drawn little envelopes here, which is kind of nice. So let's see, what do I have in this one? This one is the cherry caramel flocks. Chantilly light salmon snapdragon. I wonder, that's probably one that I should start soon. Mrs. Burns citrus lemon basil. That one will be a little more soon. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, this is a cinnamon basil. That one's one for a little bit later. Apricot snapdragon. And red cardinal flower. This is the lobelia. Gosh, let's see, what's the timing on that? 60 days. Oh, they need to be cold stratified before. So that means I should probably plant these and put them outside or something. Well, these I'll worry about later. Anyway, so should I do a couple? I got the room here, so I might as well try these snapdragons as well. Hey, while I'm here, let's see. So she's got them in. Wow, you know, putting together these seeds is a lot of work. I mean, there's envelopes in envelopes, and then there's also stickers that go on there. Hats off to anybody who's in the seed business. Now, I know there's little sorting machines and things that people can use, but ooh, these are tiny. These are so not, you know what? I don't think I'm cut out for tiny seeds. It's just like not my jam. I'm just a little too sloppy with them. Oh well. Okay, those Snapdragon seeds were just too small for me to handle, so I thought I'll just get this soil block out here and stick it in there. I'm totally making do. And now I'm gonna wet the soil on top of all these, partly because with these pelleted seeds, that's going to help break down the pellet. And I'm using this Mesto sprayer. I normally in the past have used like the dollar store ones, the super cheap ones, which they work great. They're just fine. But this one is kind of the Cadillac version of them. And I really do like it. You can tell when you touch it, just the plastic is better. But what I really like about it is this little intake valve it's very kind of flowy, and it has a weight on the end. And the nice thing about that weight is that once you have it in there, no matter which direction you're holding it, it's going to be where the weight and the intake valve is kind of at the bottom or gravity fed. So it's closest to the water. So if you're doing it this way, the weight's going to be here. If you're doing it this way, weight's going to be there. So now let's give this a little quick punch. I just bought this one. I've used them before, but mine had kind of disappeared on me. So now, oops, let's see what I got here. I want a nice fine mist. There we go. But got to give it a little more action. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so now let's get these things wetted down. Yeah, it's definitely a better sprayer than what I normally use, but the dollar store ones, work just fine. It's, cheaper plastic. They tend to have a little bit harder to control nozzle on them, but I've had success with them. So there's no shame in using those. And I like to get these really nice and wet. At least that's how I do it. So I do have a lot of cells here that are still available, so I'll have to see what I want to put in there. I think I'm going to be done for today. We're going to be running out of light pretty soon, so I'll just work with these. I also have to figure out, I need to put some humidity dome action on these, so I got to figure out a system for that. It's always good to kind of keep them covered so that the humidity stays in the beginning as well. So I think this is what we're going to get. So you can see I am just kind of one of those people who just does seeds as a hobby. So I'm sure a lot of you more experienced people are looking at me going like, dude, you are really doing it the hard way. But hey, I'm having fun with it, right? And those seeds that I had gotten were from Swallowtail Gardens, as well as M.I. Gardner and Johnny's, and who else? Oh, and Park Seed, I think was the other one. Yep, and then Flower Hill Farm. So all companies that I trust. I haven't gotten any seeds from Nicole at Flower Hill Farm before, but I trust her. She's pretty transparent with her information and what she does, so we can always appreciate that. So now figure out what I gotta do to get the humidity dome on these so I can get these things to germinate.